Look at the stats. 5 out of the top 6 televised rated games on the WNBA this year all involve Caitlin Clark. The only one that doesn't was a second half of a doubleheader in which Caitlin Clark played the first game.
Only on SportsGrid.
8 playoff games at home for Boston in Beantown. They are 6-2 straight up.
The wild card, I would say, in this game is not necessarily, well, what are we going to get out of Luka Doncic, Kyrie Irving, Brown, and certainly Tatum. It is Kristaps Porzingis to me, because we're not getting back a player that's like, hey, rotational guy. Like, remember when Derek Lively went down with an injury? He was playing well, but a young player, like a piece.
The early line. Only on SportsGrid.
Garrett Cole is getting ready to come back, too. I guess this... Look, they've played great without him, but you're not going to say to Garrett Cole, look, don't come back. I mean, it's a ridiculous conversation to have.
They're not going to take any unnecessary chances. And look, they're at the point where they have a lead. They certainly are going to make the playoffs, I would say, barring some sort of complete collapse. And that's all it takes.
Newswire. Only on SportsGrid.
If you're in the room, what are you doing with the Judge MVP number? Books are now 2-1, standalone favorite. What are you doing with the Judge number?
What do I do with the MVP? I let them bet Judge at what? Even money? Come on in. I mean, you have to acknowledge now that he's the guy.
Game time decisions. Only on SportsGrid.
Level 2 has begun. The Edmonton Oilers are on a power play, and they can't even get a shot off. Like, there's bodies flying everywhere. Florida just do a great job on the PK. There's an empty net. They're on the power play, so they've got a big advantage here. And look at Florida here, just diving, blocking shots, getting their stick out, blocking passes. They're just really doing every little thing that you need to do, and they're killing it off. It's pretty dangerous for those of us that have got the under 5.5. As the Edmonton Oilers pulled their goalie with 5:53 left in the hockey game. And Florida have come close a couple of times. Not really close, but they've tried it. You could tell Florida aren't obsessed with scoring an empty netter. They're just sort of dumping it down and trying to eat up more time, considering that they're up. Oilers are about to call a timeout here with 3:30 left. 36 seconds left on their power play. What a big difference that last Rodriguez goal was. If it's 2-1 right now, this game is still up in the air. As it is right now, this game is pretty much done, except for the total. George Kurtz steps up and in. George, I've got the under 5.5 here. I'm about to lose with Edmonton, so I need to hit the under 5.5. And it's pretty scary that they pulled the goalie with nearly 6 minutes left. I'll tell you that.
I'm same with you. Have the same 2 bets, so we'll lose with Edmonton. I'll take the split and lose the vig here. So just stay under here. But what Cam said during the break, I mean, that's all I need now is Edmonton to score a goal, and then Florida gets the empty netter, and we lose both. So that's the biggest worry.
That's a big worry.
Yeah. Edmonton can't get a puck through. Like, even with they had a 2-man advantage there, they couldn't get a puck through. Like, the Panthers, like, bodies, man. These guys they're extending their sticks on the ice. They're diving to block passes even, right? Like, they're just laying it out on the line, man. They're playing like a team that's desperate to win the Stanley Cup. I'll tell you that. Mm-hmm. Great hockey being played by the Florida Panthers here. So there's 3:30 left. And as you guys stated, if Edmonton scores, then we could be in a lot of trouble because I doubt they're going to score like twice here. On the plus side, the Yankees won for you, Kurtz.
Yeah, but you know what? I didn't bet them because I was afraid no Aaron Judge tonight, which I don't understand why the Yankees do that, by the way. Not that Judge doesn't need a day off. I'm okay with that, but you get Soto back tonight. Don't you want to get that excitement back, keep Judge in the lineup tonight? Give him a day off tomorrow. Give him a day off Wednesday. I wouldn't have given him the day off tonight, so I stayed away from the Yankees tonight. Rodon was great again. It's amazing. What a year. What a difference a year makes, right? He was awful last year. His last time pitching in Kansas City, he gave up 8 runs last September without getting an out. All right, that does wonders for your ERA. And this year, he's a Cy Young contender right now. He won't win it, but he's a contender for it. Just a magnificent 180 he's pulled.
What did you think of the Dodgers series? So Dodgers take 2 of 3. Last year, the Yankees took 2 of 3. So through 2 years, we're even now. 3-3.
You and I talked about this last week. It's Dodgers Yankees is a little emotional for me because it goes back to my father was the only thing my father and I ever agreed upon was baseball, and I can
there's
remember
the empty netter. Sorry, Kurtz. There's the empty netter.
Who scored it?
Are they going to do this again?
Ekblad.
Okay.
Are they going to keep this empty net empty next 2.5
Of
minutes?
course they are. 3 goals down. They might do it. Who knows what Knobloch's
No, it's
doing?
4-1, man. Just put the damn goalie back in.
Who
Really? You want to lose 6-1? I know.
Please put Skinner. That's my Edmonton will score. Watch. Edmonton will make it 4-2.
All right.
It's too
guys,
much
you know
time.
what this happened? Look at the replay of how this goal happened. Connor McDavid has the puck in the slot, gets cute, loses it, and then it leads to the goal. Connor McDavid just lost the puck in the slot.
Yep.
He did this against the Vancouver Canucks, actually, once too late. And everyone was always blaming Nurse and all the defensemen. It's like Connor McDavid was the one that got burnt on the play by Brock Besser. Brock Besser was his guy. And, they're leaving Skinner on the bench right now. We're going to lose the 5.5.
Yep.
This is pathetic, Knobloch.
See that play, too? Did people watch this play? Look what Kane did. With no effort there, lost a puck battle on the wall, didn't finish his check, went kind of ho-hum. You're right, Gabe. McDavid started off poorly, and they ended it. Where's the resolve of this team? Like, you're playing Florida. These guys bring it every single damn second, every shift. Edmonton, if this is you got to be better, because if you play like this, you're going to get absolutely murdered. You're losing 4 or 5.
Well, you saw that. Even when Edmonton they pulled a goalie and they were on a power play, they couldn't get a puck through. And then you just see Connor McDavid has the puck and he loses it. It bounces off of his stick and it leads to an empty net goal. It's like, are you kidding me?
Unreal.
All right, Skinner's back in the net right now. It's 2:21 left.
Good.
Just leave him in.
Stay in.
Let's see.
You stay. No one score.
I think they're going to.
I want to see nothing.
I agree,
want to see
Gabe.
nothing for the rest of the night. I want all unders here. I want to see nothing. Nothing happen in any game. Boring.
They will pull him. Once they get possession of the puck, he's coming out again. Still 2 minutes.
No, they
left.
haven't pulled him. They haven't pulled him yet. I think at some point, they just had the puck down in their zone too, and they didn't pull him. But I think at some point, you can argue the score doesn't matter. But do you really want to sit here and lose 6-1 and go over a goal celebration every 30 seconds here? No. You know what I mean? I wouldn't. I'd be like, no. Like, just we're not scoring 3 goals in 2 minutes here. It's over. And as I stated, you don't want to make, I know it doesn't matter 6-1, 4-1, 7-1, but the game will take longer. You're going to be sitting here for the next 10 minutes. Like, you're going to let them score how many empty net goals you want them to score on you, right? How many times you want the crowd to go crazy and stuff, right? And then celebrate in front of you. If I'm the Oilers, I just want to get the hell out of here by now. I'd be already calling a charter plane and tell them start the jet. You know what I mean?
That's gonna be a surly ride home, though, man. That's not gonna be a fun plane. I'll tell you that. Lots of anger.
They're probably staying in Florida, I would imagine.
Yeah.
You got a couple of days off.
Yeah, it's 3 days. Why would you know what I mean?
Play.
Yeah.
This
I don't know. I don't know.
It could be good. This could be good for us.
God.
They won't.
Yeah, because they won't pull a goalie. They can't pull a goalie. Like, they're not going to pull a goalie shorthanded now.
Florida won't really try and score. They're going to try and rag it and just get the game over with you. This could be good.
It could be.
It could be. It could. We'll see if it is.
Lots of things could be.
Yeah, it's all right.
I don't know. The way Florida are playing, it might just bury another one at this rate. 4-1, 1:59 left in the game, and they do have a power play. As Kurt stated, it's actually the best possible thing that could have happened for us, ironically enough, for the under. Because Edmonton might have pulled the goalie down 3 still. Now they can't pull the goalie. And as George stated, Florida doesn't really care about scoring. They're just going to try to eat the clock up here. Try to get no one hurt. Nothing stupid happen. But they win the faceoff and they shoot the puck at the net. No, these bastards are trying to score right now. Like
These bastards.
They'll try and score now, but once Edmonton clears it once, I wonder if they don't make a big rush to get in the zone anymore. They'll just take it easy here. They got to clear it once, and now we'll see what's going to. I know Gabe's ahead of us.
Yeah,
anyway.
yeah. Once it gets to the final minute, it'll settle down a bit. But here's another little scoring opportunity for them. They nearly scored. They just had a shot. They missed the net though. So they did try. See, that's the thing. Like Edmonton, like they've lost every battle so much. Oh my God, big save Skinner. Like Edmonton, like they can't get the puck out of their zone. Like they're really just beating down Edmonton. Well, props to you, Cam. Good call so far with the Panthers. What you said, they have overwhelmed the Oilers. The Oilers have had flashes, but they've been overwhelmed.
Don't do the reverse mush. Everything's been a good start with everything. Yeah, I hope we hit this under. We're all on the same side there. We don't need any monkey business here. Let's end this game 4-1, and we'll move to Edmonton Thursday night.
I don't think, like I said, I'm not ready to concede that the series is done. But as I stated earlier, George, the Edmonton Oilers put themselves under a lot of pressure right now. There's going to be a long 3 days before Game 3. And it's rare to say that a Game 3 is a must-win, but they're not coming back from 3 games down to none. They need to win Game 3, point blank. It's all or nothing for the Edmonton Oilers on Thursday night now.
Yeah, we all know the numbers in the NHL. If you're down 3-0, what is it, 210-4 or something silly like that? So you're done. You're all but done here. Listen, what's the axiom? The series doesn't start until you lose your first home game. So I think Edmonton still has a shot. I do. I'm on Florida before, so I'll be on Florida again.
All right, the under 5.5 is going to hit. 4-1 final score.
Look at the stats. 5 out of the top 6 televised rated games on the WNBA this year all involve Caitlin Clark. The only one that doesn't was a second half of a doubleheader in which Caitlin Clark played the first game.
Only on SportsGrid.
8 playoff games at home for Boston in Beantown. They are 6-2 straight up.
The wild card, I would say, in this game is not necessarily, well, what are we going to get out of Luka Doncic, Kyrie Irving, Brown, and certainly Tatum. It is Kristaps Porzingis to me, because we're not getting back a player that's like, hey, rotational guy. Like, remember when Derek Lively went down with an injury? He was playing well, but a young player, like a piece.
The early line. Only on SportsGrid.
Garrett Cole's getting ready to come back too. I guess this. Look, they've played great without him, but you're not going to say to Garrett Cole, "Look, don't come back." I mean, it's a ridiculous conversation to have.
They're not going to take any unnecessary chances. And look, they're at the point where they have a lead. They certainly are going to make the playoffs, I would say, barring some sort of complete collapse. And that's all it takes.
Newswire. Only on SportsGrid.
If you're in the room, what are you doing with the Judge MVP number? Books are now 2-1, standalone favorite. What are you doing with the Judge number?
What do I do with the MVP? I let them bet Judge at what? Even money? Come on in. I mean, you have to acknowledge now that he's the guy.
Game time decisions. Only on SportsGrid.
Well, while we were paying attention to the final moments of the Stanley Cup Finals, the Chicago White Sox, good call by Joe. She said she's going to jump in on the White Sox at plus 200 when it was scoreless. It's 3-0 for the White Sox right now. Bottom of the 7th. I've got under 5.5. Parlayed with under 6.5 in the Houston game in San Francisco. The Mariners are now plus 700. The in-game total is 4.5. The Mariners plus 2.5 runs, plus 130. That's intriguing. But there's not a ton of baseball left. George, any action for you on this game?
Yeah, I just told Cam I'm on all the unders tonight. The hockey game, all 3 late baseball games, always on the under with the Seattle Mariners. And Arrighetti had pitched well for Houston, 2.57 ERA in his last 3 starts. No Tucker there for the Astros, so I thought Harrison would have a good time as well. And the A's, same thing. All unders all over the place. And, for me to take unders lets you know that, baseball may have a problem. Because I don't like taking unders. For me, that's boring. But I thought all 3 unders were, for me, the easy play tonight.
Well, the league batting average is like 240, right? How many times do we see these games? All the games are kind of the same in Major League Baseball now. There's a ton of 2-1 games. Both teams have 4 or 5 hits, and there's a couple of solo home runs, right? That seems to be, the gist of it for the most part. I mean, a couple of games have gone over. Let's look at the overall numbers here. It's like 52%. I want to get the exact number, though, but it's like 52% to the, Major League Baseball. It was 52% to the under, which actually says something because the books have adjusted and have lowered them. Coming into tonight, it's come down a little bit. So it's 51.3% to 48.7%. So 51% unders. But there's a couple of teams that are just massive, like they're the ones that are playing to the under. As George mentioned, the Seattle Mariners have been a consistent underplay for the last couple of weeks, about a month now. They're 38, 26, and 3 to the under. You kind of figure it'd be a little bit more, right? But it's been about a month that their pitching staff has been on fire, but still, nevertheless, you're plus 12 units to the under. How about this, guys? The Texas Rangers. 39, 25, and 1 to the under. The Texas Rangers on the season. The Houston Astros. But this whole division, guys, is just an under machine, though. The Astros, 39 and 24, plus 15 units. Oakland Athletics are 35 and 29 to the under. There's only one team to the over in the American League West, and that's the Los Angeles Angels. The last placed Angels are the only team to the over. The Yankees, 34 and 31 to the under. The Orioles are an over team. Boston are an under team. The Blue Jays, 37 and 29 to the under. The Rays are a slight over team. So looking at the American League West, that's where the real overs are at. The National League West, there's runs. The Dodgers are actually 33, 33, and 1 as far as totals are concerned.
Wow. 50% right down the line. That's hard to do. Well, that's wild.
Yeah, 33, 33, and 1. San Diego are 35 and 32 to the over. San Francisco are 35 and 29 to the over. Arizona are 33 and 31 to the under. And Colorado, how about that? 32, 31, and 1. Pretty sharp numbers.
Yeah. Big time. Big time. Well, we'll get it. We'll see what happens with the Dodgers. You talk about Texas. I think that's the next series, isn't it? Texas and the Dodgers coming up. So we'll see a team that unders with a team that can hit the baseball. So should be an interesting series.
You know, it's amazing too. You look, so the Yankees record, the Yankees are 47 and 21 on the season, and they're plus 1,600. So you're missing out, Kurt. You should just be betting every damn Yankee game and taking your own personal weird things out of it. They're the most profitable team in baseball. They're up 16.38 units so far. But what's amazing is the Dodgers. You look at the Dodgers, guys. The Dodgers are 41 and 26. They're down $146. You bet every Dodger game this year, you're down $146 so far, despite the fact that they're 15 games over 500. That's pretty crazy.
Yep. Big favorites all the time. We've talked about this.
Run line.
Yeah, run lines, parlays. Like if you're laying like 300 and whatever in baseball, it's just after a while, you're just going to get slapped. That's the only way to play the Dodgers. Good call, guys. Yep.
The American League West, everybody in the division is minus money. San Diego are minus 284. San Francisco are minus 352. Arizona have been a disappointment this year. They're minus 499 on the season. This for $100 bettors. And the Colorado Rockies, this is funny. The Rockies are 20 games under 500. If you bet every Rocky game, you're only down $149.
Not bad.
Because they're such massive underdogs all the time. Just it takes a couple of wins for them to break even. That's pretty crazy, huh? 23 and 43, but they're only minus $149. The Marlins continue to burn money. They're minus 1568. The Mets are minus 700. This is a surprise, and this is flying under the radar. The Washington Nationals are plus $1,078 on the season. Plus 10.7 units, the Nationals. 30 and 35. This is a baseball team that I haven't bet that much, to be honest, this year. I've taken them a couple of times, but you need to, take a leap of faith sometimes and realize which some of these bad teams are making money. And you look, Kurtz, the Nationals are a bad team that'll make you money. They're 30 and 35 on the season, but they're plus 10 units. Other bad teams that make money, not too many of them, to be honest. They're the best bad team. They're the best bad team in the league. Every other team that's making money is actually pretty good. Like Philadelphia are up 10 units. Washington are the only bad team, guys, that you're up big money on betting this year.
What are the Reds now? They've been on a little bit of a hot streak. They're still down. Yeah, I want to see what they're at. Are they leveling?
Yeah, the Reds are down $148 on the season.
Last week it was 700 or 800. Mm-hmm.
The Atlanta Braves are down minus 735.
Yep.
Unbelievable.
There are other ones that are big because they're big favorites all the time, Kurtz, right?
Oh.
It catches up to them.
That's another other team. They don't hit anymore.
No. They're falling into the couple of hits and a home run a game type of deal. Philadelphia's winning that division.
Look at the stats. 5 out of the top 6 televised rated games on the WNBA this year all involve Caitlin Clark. The only one that doesn't was a second half of a doubleheader in which Caitlin Clark played the first game.
Only on SportsGrid.
8 playoff games at home for Boston in Beantown. They are 6-2 straight up.
The wild card, I would say, in this game is not necessarily, what are we going to get out of Luka Doncic, Kyrie Irving, Brown, and certainly Tatum. It is Kristaps Porzingis to me because we're not getting back a player that's like, hey, rotational guy. Like, remember when Derek Lively went down with the injury? He was playing well, but a young player, like a piece.
The early line. Only on SportsGrid.
Garrett Cole's getting ready to come back too. I guess this. Look, they've played great without him, but you're not going to say to Garrett Cole, "Look, don't come back." I mean, it's a ridiculous conversation to have.
They're not going to take any unnecessary chances. And look, they're at the point where they have a lead. They certainly are going to make the playoffs, I would say, barring some sort of complete collapse. And that's all it takes.
Newswire. Only on SportsGrid.
If you're in the room, what are you doing with the Judge MVP number? Books are now 2-1, standalone favorite. What are you doing with the Judge number?
What do I do with the MVP? I let them bet Judge at what? Even money? Come on in. I mean, you have to acknowledge now that he's the guy.
Game time decisions. Only on SportsGrid.
Florida Panthers defeat the Edmonton Oilers 4-1 tonight. So the game stays under the 5.5. Panthers cover the number. Oilers have only scored 1 goal in 2 games. They're having a hard time getting pucks through. It's amazing how each series is different with the dynamic. And it's almost like Edmonton have become what Vancouver was against them. It's really interesting, to see the different changes where, Vancouver were sort of chasing Edmonton and like we're winning a game, but we're being outshot 24-4. Like it was one of those type of deals. And that's what was happening with the Oilers tonight. I'll give credit to Paul Maurice as well. Like he's been around the NHL a long time. He's never won before. He's close. He's knocking on the door here right now. And he's just done a great job with the matchups, the style of play. Great job by the Panthers so far. The Panthers are 5-1 in the playoffs when tied after 2 periods of play. So it goes to show they end strong. And the new updated series price right now, let's check in on this for the Edmonton Oilers. Stanley Cup future. All right. They were plus 400 before the game was just as the game was ending. Yeah, still. So the Panthers are now. Yeah, the Panthers are minus 550 right now. Listen, I think the Oilers could win. The only thing is, it's not really like the NBA. You know what I mean? Like, I think the Dallas Mavericks are going to go home. They're going to win. It's a different thing. Everyone will play better at home. Basketball's different. There's no guarantee you win at home in the NHL. Like, the next game is a toss-up. Right? So it's like the Oilers are in a really, really pressure spot here. It's not like, oh, don't worry, we're going home. It'll be fine. It's like, yes, you need to win.
Lot of old flames on that team, too, Gabe. They've been playing at Edmonton before, like guys who played at Alberta. We'll see. Hey, here's the deal. Edmonton, the craziest thing is, do you know, like, so Edmonton scored 4-on-4 after Florida's penalty tonight. The Rangers scored on Florida. They actually scored almost as many shorthanded goals. Like, you got to find a way to beat this team 5-on-5. And nobody's done it yet. And I've never seen a team just win more battles than Florida does in every series they play. They did it to Boston. They eventually smoked out the Rangers. And at the end, the Rangers kind of tapped out. And now they're like hitting Edmonton. And it's like, bring it on. Like, they're a very, very rugged team. Good point by you, Morency. Paul Maurice is pushing all the right buttons as well. And Bobrovsky's played well except for that first goal.
I'm seeing the post-game press conference right now, and they're throwing up a bunch of stats. And one of them is that the Panthers are now 7-1 in the playoffs when they've been trailing in a hockey game, which is the most comebacks out of anyone. So 7 times, which goes to show that if you're up on the Panthers, 1 goal is not enough. And that was the problem with Edmonton. They scored, and it's like, guys, you had 5 shots on goal. Like, you took the pedal off the metal as far as trying to put the puck in the net. It's a problem for them. But with all that being stated, the Edmonton Oilers open up as minus 125 home favorites on Thursday night, 8 o'clock Eastern time. Oilers minus 125, and they post another 5.5 in this game, Kurtz.
I got actually a dime worse. I got minus 135 here. So I bid it with the Oilers tonight. Right now, I don't know if I'll play the game. I will take the under again. Every game's playing to the other. Bobrovsky's playing too well. Maybe the 3 days off cools him off. I don't know. But he's playing so well. He is your Conn Smythe leader right now. I'll take the under gladly. It's only minus 115 until somebody proves they can score some goals in the series. I think Edmonton will play better at home, but you still have to beat Bobrovsky. And Gabe, you said something, I don't know if it was during the break or while we were talking. Florida's sort of feeling it right now. They'll sacrifice their body. They'll throw their body in front of shots now. They want the cup. I think they'll just do more. And when you play Florida, they sort of test your will. You want to throw that puck in the corner? Let's go. We love that. Do you want to keep going in and keep getting banged, bang over and over again? I think they test your will. I just don't know if Edmonton wants to play that kind of game, and you have to against the Panthers.
Yeah, well, the Panthers have imposed it on the Oilers. So I said it earlier, and it's not just the Oilers. The Leafs, the Canucks had an issue with it. The Canucks got a little bit better and realized because Tocchet sort of, last month of the season, the Canucks started to change their style a little bit and try to play a little bit playoff more style hockey. But the Oilers don't like dumping the puck in. It's not really what they do, right? Their third and fourth line will do it, but their top 2 lines are very skilled. So they're being forced to dump the puck in. And like you said, they're not winning the battles. Like they're losing the battles at both ends. The Oiler defensemen are getting overwhelmed. It's just everything's too much for them. And the Oiler forwards are losing the battles at the other end. So Panthers have been dominant. What can you say? They've outscored them 7-1. It's been a dominant performance. Oilers 0 for 4 tonight on the power play, 0 for 7 now in the series. If you don't score on the power play, you're not going to win.
Look at the stats. 5 out of the top 6 televised rated games on the WNBA this year all involve Caitlin Clark. The only one that doesn't was a second half of a doubleheader in which Caitlin Clark played the first game.
Only on SportsGrid.
8 playoff games at home for Boston in Beantown. They are 6-2 straight up.
The wild card, I would say, in this game is not necessarily, well, what are we going to get out of Luka Doncic, Kyrie Irving, Brown, and certainly Tatum. It is Kristaps Porzingis to me, because we're not getting back a player that's like, hey, rotational guy. Like, remember when Derek Lively went down with the injury? He was playing well, but a young player, like a piece.
The early line. Only on SportsGrid.
Garrett Cole's getting ready to come back too. I guess this. Look, they've played great without him, but you're not going to say to Garrett Cole, "Look, don't come back." I mean, it's a ridiculous conversation to have.
They're not going to take any unnecessary chances. And look, they're at the point where they have a lead. They certainly are going to make the playoffs, I would say, barring some sort of complete collapse. And that's all it takes.
Newswire. Only on SportsGrid.
If you're in the room, what are you doing with the Judge MVP number? Books are now 2-1, standalone favorite. What are you doing with the Judge number?
What do I do with the MVP? I let them bet Judge at what? Even money? Come on in. I mean, you have to acknowledge now that he's the guy.
Game time decisions. Only on SportsGrid.
This is SportsRage. I am Morency. As George Kurtz alluded to, Bobrovsky has become the Conn Smythe favorite right now. Updated Conn Smythe numbers. Bobrovsky, minus 150. Barkov, plus 400. McDavid is now plus 550. McDavid was plus 200 before the series started. He's now plus 550. Kachuk is 11-1. Verhaeghe's 20-1. Rodriguez is 20-1. But let's be real, it's Bobrovsky. That's it's the thing with the Florida Panthers. They play such a team game that no one player is going to stand out really more than another one besides their goalie, right? And how the hell are you not going to give it to a goalie who's got a shutout and giving up one goal in 2 games? Bobrovsky has to be the guys, and think about it, Kemp. Look, like we said, the Panthers are minus 550 to win the Stanley Cup right now. You could just jump in and take Bobrovsky at minus 150. Hell, I might do it to just salvage this right now.
Yes, actually, that is one of the best pieces of betting advice we can give here on SportsGrid. That's exactly what you're going to do. It's going to be him or maybe like one other guy, but the way Bobrovsky's playing, you have a shutout and a 1 goal, and that's the whole thing. He's been great in all the other series, too. You take the full body of work. One other thing, Gabe, they're just like, it's amazing to me. Like, Florida picks up a guy like Evan Rodriguez, played with Tommy knows Rochester Americans and stuff. He's from our area. And this guy played for Pittsburgh, Buffalo, like an afterthought kind of anywhere. And now he comes and he's playing some of the best hockey of his life. They did a great job with this organization getting grinders. This guy had 2 goals tonight. Evan Rodriguez, and you saw that tip-in goal? That was absolutely gorgeous. Beautiful play on that. Stick on the ice, bam, redeflection. They got great role players on this team.
Well, to win, you need your best players to play well, and you need a few other guys to step up, and they're getting it. They're getting it right now. But it's a great, like I said, I think it's a great point that we bring up here with Bobrovsky. He's going to win it, Kurtz. If the Panthers win, he's going to win because the next 2 games, whatever, if they win, there's not going to be 6-5 games and stuff like that. So it's going to end up being Bobrovsky. He's going to end up only giving up a couple of goals in the series if they win. At minus 150. And then conversely, with the Edmonton Oilers, you don't need to take an MVP here. If you think they're going to get back in it, you just take them at plus 400, right? And they're not out of this yet. They win 2 games at home. Anything can happen. Things can turn around. We saw they were getting dominated by Dallas, and they turned the series around, right? Things can change in a hurry in the National Hockey League, but the way the Panthers are playing right now, Kurtz, it's going to be extremely tough to beat them 4 out of the next 5 hockey games. And that's what this is the position that the Oilers have put themselves in.
That's the key there. You got to beat them 4 out of 5. All right, not easy. Thursday becomes a must-win. You don't win Thursday, it's all over anyway, right? We can all wrap this up here. So Thursday's a must-win. You've talked about it multiple times over this playoff series, how the Edmonton media has destroyed the Oilers when they weren't playing well, right? The next couple of days are going to be a nightmare for the Oilers. And all the questions are going to be asked, why can't you score a goal? Why can't you do this? What's not working for you? What do you have to do? It's not going to be fun there at all. It's not going to be easy here. As far as I was on Florida to win in 7 games here. I took Bobrovsky to win MVP because of what you already said. If not Bobrovsky, who? I mean, they have a lot of Kachuk, Verhaeghe, Reinhart, Barkov, but no one's having a fantastic series where if Florida wins, you knew they were going to win 4 more games. I mean, I think we kind of assumed they wouldn't be, like you said, 6-5 games here. So I thought Bob was the easy choice there. And I did play an MVP on McDavid as well, just because in case Edmonton won, I want to get some money back. I think he would win MVP because he'd have to go off. And he hasn't done that yet. He only has the 1 point in the series here. But that's how I played that. I'm afraid right now that the series might be over in 5. That they'll split in Edmonton, and then Florida might just end this thing in 5 here. I'd like to see a longer series as a hockey fan here, but Florida looks pretty close to a team you're not going to beat in a 7-game series. You're just not.
Oh, there's a lot of different things could happen. I get the feeling that, listen, if Florida wins Game 3, I wouldn't be surprised if they swept them.
I agree.
Like the Oilers could just collapse, and the negativity will be way too much in Edmonton. But if they win on Thursday, Saturday will be a madhouse, Cam. It all comes down to Thursday now, right? It comes down to one, and not even one game at a time. If you're the Oilers, you have to sort of think like the Panthers do. It's one shift at a time. That's how the Panthers play. Like Kachuk was talking about, win every mini battle, win the day, win the practice. It's funny, Harbaugh, Michigan, that was a big thing with them this past 2 years. And when they won and stuff, they were like, what's the big thing with, they were talking about, Harbaugh talks to us about winning everything that we do. Win your diet, win your sleep, win the practice, win a one-on-one battle in practice, win in everything that you do it to the best possible capabilities, and it'll show on the field every Saturday. And it did. Right. And Maurice is sort of like Kachuk talked about that. Don't think too far ahead. Just win every sort of now. Live in the now, and it'll all sort of come together. The Oilers need to live in the now. And you brought it up, Cam. Darnell Nurse got hurt. He got hurt. He came back, then he got hurt again. He only played 4 minutes tonight, and he gets criticized. But you saw the Oilers defensemen were terrible without him. It was rough back there. They had their heads. They were spinning around. They were losing the battles in the corners. They need Nurse. For as much as he gets criticized, they need him. Fortunately, they do have 3 days off in between games. That'll help anyone that's beat up here. But Knobloch's facing the media right now. Connor McDavid's still talking to them. It's going to be never-ending. They're going to talk to the media for an hour here. And then, like you said, Kurtz, I brought it up earlier. As soon as they land in Edmonton, they'll have all the Edmonton media that didn't travel waiting for them.
The guys who didn't have enough money to follow the team down there.
Whatever the first, the airport, the practice, every step, there's always going to be more when they get back. Plus, just the fan base is pretty good, though. The building will be rocking on Thursday. It's 2-0. But I do think Bobrovsky minus 150 becomes the play. If look, it's 2-0. If we don't believe the Oilers are going to come back and win this series, you can't play the Panthers minus 550, but you're getting Bobrovsky minus 150.
I wouldn't say this too either, Gabe. They got some serious question marks. And I never would have said Knobloch. He's pushed all the right buttons with inserting guys in the lineup. But Cody Cece's going to be back, and this was his first healthy scratch as an Edmonton Oiler, and he's actually not their worst defenseman. They brought in some other guys there that played a lot worse. I don't know the status of Nurse, what is going to happen, but I'll tell you one thing. If they don't clean that stuff up and those guys are banged up, I don't know how they last against a team like Florida. Because what does Florida do to you? They put pucks in and pound your defenseman. It's a big disadvantage for Edmonton. That's Florida's strength. That's their weakness. And they'll just exploit it again. Edmonton in the first period, guys, you know this. They got to come out They can't be like, let's all go in there and make a big mistake and get beat on the counter. They got to play a smooth first period, try to get out there tighter with the lead. And you said it, Morency, because you can't if Florida comes out gangbusters and scores on counters because you're making mistakes, playing desperate hockey, party's over.
Florida have done it to everyone. I didn't think the Edmonton Oilers defensemen were great defensively, but they're pretty big. So I thought that they would be able to handle the physicality a little bit more and sort of, all right, they'd get hit, but it wouldn't rattle them, and they'd get the puck out of the zone, but they're not. They're getting hit, and they're losing the puck. And/or their weak attempts as they're about to get hit, and they're doing the exact same thing. The New York Rangers defensemen had the exact same problem, and it's even worse for the Oilers, actually. Like, the Ranger defensemen actually handled it better, to be honest. Like, the defensemen of the Oilers, like you said, they're going to have to step it up physically in a big way. And, you don't really want to play the Panther style of hockey, but the Oilers don't have a choice. They're going to have to come out, like, just taking people's heads off in the first couple of minutes of the next game.
Well, Gabe,
don't let Florida get any sort of momentum on their bench. You put Florida on their heels early and lay it on the line. The Stanley Cup is on the line, point blank, on Thursday night.
They did it to Trouba, Fox, Miller, like, guys are like, you know what I mean? And that's the thing about Edmonton's defensemen. Sorry, you might score a couple goals, but it's a really bad situation. It's not good at all if you're an Edmonton backer. And Paul Maurice knows it.
All right, we'll get into some baseball lines on the other side. The post-game press conference is continuing right now. 1-1 with the Giants and Astros in the bottom of the eighth as well.
Look at the stats. 5 out of the top 6 televised rated games on the WNBA this year all involve Caitlin Clark. The only one that doesn't was a second half of a doubleheader in which Caitlin Clark played the first game.
Only on SportsGrid.
8 playoff games at home for Boston in Beantown. They are 6-2 straight up.
The wild card, I would say, in this game is not necessarily, well, what are we going to get out of Luka Doncic, Kyrie Irving, Brown, and certainly Tatum. It is Kristaps Porzingis to me, because we're not getting back a player that's like, hey, rotational guy. Like, remember when Derek Lively went down with an injury? He was playing well, but a young player, like a piece.
The early line. Only on SportsGrid.
Garrett Cole's getting ready to come back too. I guess look, they've played great without him, but you're not going to say to Garrett Cole, look, don't come back. I mean, it's a ridiculous conversation to have.
They're not going to take any unnecessary chances. And look, they're at the point where they have a lead. They certainly are going to make the playoffs, I would say, barring some sort of complete collapse. And that's all it takes.
Newswire. Only on SportsGrid.
If you're in the room, what are you doing with the Judge MVP number? Books are now 2-1, standalone favorite. What are you doing with the Judge number?
What do I do with the MVP? I let them bet Judge at what? Even money? Come on in. I mean, you have to acknowledge now that he's the guy.
Game time decisions. Only on SportsGrid.
Well, we got some late night problems here with the baseball. The White Sox put more runs up on the board. It's 4-1 right now, but the Mariners are trying to come back, and they got runners on first and second with nobody out. So this is the last thing we need is like a bunch of runs here. And we all know, too, that the White Sox bullpen is a little shaky. And I'm being kind when I say a little shaky. So, yeah. Yeah, that's what I mean, Kurt. So wouldn't be shocking. It wouldn't be shocking if this game's 4-4 in a minute. Man, we saw last week the White Sox blew a bunch of leads to the Cubs while we were live here.
Shaky.
This wouldn't be the worst thing for me.
If the White Sox played operation, they'd hit that clown's nose so many times. Beep, beep, beep. Imagine these guys as surgeons. They're the worst bullpen. I watch White Sox baseball games. I'm like, who are these guys? Like, yeah, their bullpen reeks. Like, it's
God,
bad.
no single. You got bases loaded, nobody out.
Clown show. Here it comes.
Yeah. The Mariners all the way down to plus 145. They were like plus 400 before.
Yep.
See, now,
that was the
play. The Mariners can't screw me here. If they're going to come back and win, I'll lose my under, but then win the game. I'll take the win on the Mariners. They're also part of a parlay. Actually, I'm better with the Mariners winning this game. I'd win more money if they won than if I lose the under. So go Mariners, but don't screw me and make it 4-4, then lose. That would suck.
All the way down to plus 145 now, the Mariners. So they're down by 3, but have the bases loaded with nobody out, plus 145. Yeah, I'm going to jump in on it. I should have got it before, but.
Oh, it's Julio. J-Rod's up.
All right. Plus 150 I got.
Kopech is pitching now, by the way. I don't know who pitches the 9th inning. Kopech was their closer. Or what they call the closer.
Plus 160. All right, we'll keep our eye on this right now because there's a strike. It moved. But like I said, I've seen them. I saw last week.
150. Because you're
that's what it is now.
You get a better price. Or worse price, actually.
That's 155 right now. It's just sort of moving around. 1-1 Houston and San Francisco right now. They're this inning just ended. So they're going to the top of the 9th inning right now, tied at 1. That game's a pick-em, minus 115 on both sides. San Diego's up 3-1, middle 7 right now. They're 14-1 on the money line. The Athletics are plus 750 on the money line. Looking at the overnight baseball numbers for tomorrow's action, the Braves and Baltimore, in Baltimore. Max Fried's on the hill against Suarez. Baltimore are actually home dogs tomorrow, plus 115 against the Atlanta Braves. Braves are minus 135 favorites in this game. That surprises me, and I don't see how you don't take the Baltimore Orioles as home dogs.
Well, the reason why is Fried has pitched so well, right? So well. They can't hit to save their lives, the Braves here, but Fried has pitched well, and you're going up against Suarez, who's their 7th or 8th starter? So I think that's the reason why here. That being said, I agree with you. I'll take Baltimore as well. I think they're a great team. Just got done sweeping Tampa Bay here. And I'm probably going to take the under as well in this game. Like I said, I think Fried will keep Baltimore in check, and Atlanta can't hit anybody.
We're talking about Washington making money. Washington minus 105 in Detroit. Parker versus Maeda. The Tigers are minus 115. The total is 8.5 in that game, guys.
Slightly into the over there, Gabe. Washington should be able to hit Maeda and vice versa with Mitchell Parker, but I don't know what your guys take, but that 8.5 seems a little bit light to me. I think we can get there.
I agree.
I would lean with the Tigers here at home. Cubs are plus 120 road dogs in Tampa. Tyon on the hill. The total is 7.5 against Eflin, minus 140 for Tampa. The Miami Marlins. We're talking about the Marlins. The Marlins are just the biggest money burners, and the Mets are minus 135 right now. Minus 134, minus 135, coming back from London. McGill on the hill against Luzardo. Total 7.5. Philadelphia coming back from London as well. They're playing the Boston Red Sox. Phillies, minus 165 road favorites in Boston with Wheeler against Crawford. The Sox are plus 140. The total is an even 8. And the rock star Paul Skeens on the hill tomorrow for the Pittsburgh Pirates. Minus 125 road favorites coming off the win against the Los Angeles Dodgers in his last start. Mikolas goes for the Cardinals. I'm looking at his player prop here. Player strikeouts, I'm assuming 7.5. Yeah. 7.5 plus 110 to the over. What did he have against the Dodgers? I think he got to 8 or 9, didn't he? He got to 8? I
believe he did.
I think it was 8. He went 8. Over.
Yeah.
I'm not taking the under. Either I'm leaving it alone or I'm taking the over.
It's reasonable.
Well, you're getting plus money with it at least. That's sort of the cutoff, but the guy's a freaking stud. And he's a strikeout machine. I mean, the guy throws 102 miles an hour pretty consistently. He's coming at you like 100. He blew it past, though. Ohtani hit a home run off him like we thought. We bet it. But he also, like, blew, like, that first inning was crazy. He struck out all three people on, like, 9 pitches, I think. It was like 10 pitches. One thing about Mookie Betts I don't understand, and I can't call him out because he's a great hitter, but he never swings at the first 2 pitches. It's crazy. Like, if I was a pitcher, like, big league pitchers know it. They just throw it right down the middle, and he just watches it. And then he fouls off a bunch of pitches and stuff, but it's like, dude, like, if I ever interviewed him, I'd ask him that and say, why are you so comfortable, like, starting off 0-2 all the time? You ever notice that, Kurtz, about Betts? He doesn't.
I understand why, though, because you want to see the pitcher, what he's got for you. I can understand the first at-bat versus a pitcher, not the second and third. Yeah. You've already seen him now swing. Don Mattingly back in the day was the same damn thing. Always took the first
rarely
strike.
swings at the first pitch.
And underhanded, and he would take the strike. Yeah. It drove us insane as Yankee fans here.
But how can you call out a guy that's hitting 330, right? He's Mookie Betts. So it's working for him.
It's working.
Yeah, but it's pretty crazy. But I heard someone say the other day, and it was a pitcher, I don't know who it was, might have been Cone or someone was talking. They basically said, I'll tell you what. He goes, oftentimes hitters, the best pitch is actually the first pitch, especially of the game, right? And I get it. You're a leadout. You want to work this and that and stuff, but no pitcher is going to throw. Yeah, but no pitcher throws junk to start a baseball game. Mm-hmm. Everyone, it's always the same thing. Fastball, boom, down the middle. And it's like a lot of guys just take it all the time. And it drives me crazy with Mookie Betts, but he's so good, I got to live with it. So, yeah, Paul Skeens, 7.5 plus 110.
Look at the stats. 5 out of the top 6 televised rated games on the WNBA this year all involve Caitlin Clark. The only one that doesn't was a second half of a doubleheader in which Caitlin Clark played the first game.
Only on SportsGrid.
8 playoff games at home for Boston in Beantown. They are 6-2 straight up.
The wild card, I would say, in this game is not necessarily, well, what are we going to get out of Luka Doncic, Kyrie Irving, Brown, and certainly Tatum. It is Kristaps Porzingis to me, because we're not getting back a player that's like, hey, rotational guy. Like, remember when Derek Lively went down with the injury? He was playing well, but a young player, like a piece.
The early line. Only on SportsGrid.
Garrett Cole's getting ready to come back, too. I guess this... Look, they've played great without him, but you're not going to say to Garrett Cole, look, don't come back. I mean, it's a ridiculous conversation to have.
They're not going to take any unnecessary chances. And look, they're at the point where they have a lead. They certainly are going to make the playoffs, I would say, barring some sort of complete collapse. And that's all it takes.
Newswire. Only on SportsGrid.
If you're in the room, what are you doing with the Judge MVP number? Books are now 2-1, standalone favorite. What are you doing with the Judge number?
What do I do with the MVP? I let them bet Judge at what? Even money? Come on in. I mean, you have to acknowledge now that he's the guy.
Game time decisions. Only on SportsGrid.
This is SportsRage. I am Morency, and just like that is 4-4. Seattle and Chicago. The Seattle Mariners have come back. They're now minus 225. So at least I did get in at plus 150. Although I lose the in-game total that I bet, and their game goes over the number. So it's minus 220 right now, and they still have runners on first and second with 2 out. Wildness. Man, they were big dogs, too, earlier. I think they were plus 350, plus 400 when it was 4-0.
They were.
Wasn't like 600 or anything because it was the White Sox, and they were big favorites to begin with. But we do have the plus 150. This is a lesson learned. We haven't won the game yet, but Kurtz, last week we did it twice in a row with the Cubs and the White Sox. I was like, man,
I got it once. I did the second.
Yeah, and I was like, yeah. So the second, I was like, well, they did it last night, so why didn't they do it again? And then they did again.
I don't think it was 4 runs though last time, was it? Or at least not late.
It was 5. Yeah, it was 5-1. They blew a 5-1 lead. I only jumped in when it was 5-3. I jumped in when it was 5-3.
Well, the best one you did last time was the same night. You go, if anybody needs a bailout special, the Angels are 12-1 or whatever, and they came back that night. It was like, what the hell's going? All those teams that were down multiple runs.
No, they came back, but they lost, Cam. They did. They came back and they tied it, but the Angels ended up losing the game in extra innings.
Well, you could have gone them at 12-1 and hit the other side.
Yeah, you could have had.
With that number.
No, but the lesson is, on a nightly basis, it happens. Like you see in baseball, these 2-run leads. You know, I don't always do it. I mean, I wish I did it more. Me too. Like Oakland's not coming back. They're 11-1. That's not happening. But I figure Seattle probably will come back.
What happened? Did somebody score, George? Is it 4-4? What's the deal?
No, but Lockley almost got hit in the head. I guess they're saying he got hit by the pitch. I don't know how he got hit by the pitch. No, that hit the bat. That's coming back. That'll be a foul ball. There's no way you get up like that if it hits your hands. Yeah, that clearly hit the bat. So he'll be up with first and second and 2 outs. But because it was a ball around his head, so he put the bat up and it, they called it a hit by pitch. But if that hits you in the fingers, you'd be in a lot of pain. So I think that's coming back. They're going to a commercial now for whatever reason. But Seattle's still batting in the bottom of the 8th. I can't get screwed now. Now Seattle has to win. I lost my under. So now Seattle has to win. I can win my parlay on the Seattle bet, which is better for me. But if the White Sox were to win this game now, this would be wouldn't be disaster, but I would lose 3 bets out of this. So I would not be happy.
I don't see a line for the Dodgers and the Rangers game. It wasn't at one book, and now I'm looking at multiple books. They don't have a lineup. It's either not on the rotation, or there just doesn't have no line. Yeah, I guess they don't know who's going to be pitching for Texas yet. I think that's the thing. Because Paxton's listed, but I don't see anybody listed for Texas. But Paxton got hit hard last week in Pittsburgh, actually. We should note. U.S. Open this week as well. Kind of feels like a lull now for a couple of days until we got the NBA Finals on Wednesday, Stanley Cup Finals on Thursday, and then the U.S. Open starts on Thursday as well. The Euro Cup is set to begin later in the week. We're going to get into some soccer this week, but U.S. Open, Scotty Scheffler gets it done. Scotty Scheffler this past week gets it done. Now Scotty Scheffler plus 300 favorite. Extremely low number. Rory and Xander are the second closest at 11-1. Morikawa is 14-1. Bryson is 18-1. Hovland is 20-1. What do you think, Cam?
Scheffler is unreal. But we had Morikawa finish second. Here's the deal. This course, Gabe, Gary Player, and all these guys are already complaining. It's Monday about how hard Pinehurst number 2 is going to play. Apparently, balls are going to be rolling off the green in practice sessions, so you need the best short game in the world. And one of Scotty Scheffler's things is that is not the strength of his game. His ball striking is impeccable and the best in the world. 3-1 game. Can you believe this? Some books plus 275, but he seems to win every week. 5 times in the last little while. This guy, every time he steps up, he can win, but this is going to be a great U.S. Open, buddy. I'm telling you, watch out for your boy, Schauffele. Once he gets one in his bag, maybe he'll play well at 11-1. We'll see.
A guy that catches my eye looking right now is Bryson DeChambeau.
Agreed.
The last few majors, this guy's just been right there, right? He's been knocking on the door. He's one of the live guys that he's been playing the best. You would expect it was Koepka. Koepka, had that win. But DeChambeau has been so consistent at these majors.
We were on him. Good call, Gabe. He was second. This guy, he's battling, man, and he has the length at this course. He's actually one guy that can hang with Scheffler. I love that pick.
Yeah, 18-1, very good odds for a guy that's going to be in the mix. And at least we know, too, we got to take him top 10. Because like we said, he keeps on coming second in these majors.
Mm-hmm.
He was there for the PGA. He was there for the PGA. He was there for the Masters. Yeah, that's the guy that catches my eye. We'll hit it some more. Thanks, George. Thanks, Cam. Mo Collins, join us at level 3.